And there are roles for each of those. But I've always encouraged everyone to do your best to learn how to develop business, because at the end of the day, that is your power in law firms. That's your income in law
Yeah.
firms. And I never understood the lawyers who wanted to be dependent lawyers. After leading a lot of lawyers for a lot of years, I've come to recognize that some really just don't want to develop business. And if you try and force them to, they're going to leave and go find somewhere that's going to let them be a grinder. But with that said, I recognize that. But what I talk about business development is, first, there's this book called The Power of Influence. I think it's a great book. There's other great ones, but that's probably one of my favorite, because I would tell you that my ability to develop business, and one of my favorite stories is about my current partner. I was at dinner when we were deciding whether or not we were going to become partners, talking about what I do. We both do substantially the same thing. His son was at the dinner and looked at his dad and said, "Wow, Dad, she makes it sound really fun. You never made it sound like that." And the thing is, I found a practice area. So this is my first thing on business development, which isn't the standard thing people will tell you, but find a practice area that you really enjoy. Because if you do, then business development becomes naturally, because you just talk about what you do and you're excited about it. You have to be careful not to become boring and go on and on about tax code sections like I'm capable of, but it's simply that I believe in what I do. I think I do it well, and I think that I help people in doing it. So it's easy to share about it. The next thing is to find a firm where you do fit into the culture. Because I was at a big firm that is a great law firm. The lawyers are phenomenal lawyers. I learned so much there, but I wasn't a cultural fit. And so at that time, I went and trained to become a yoga instructor and Pilates instructor, because I was going to leave law and open a studio. But then I left and started my own firm, and I found, hey, I'm happily ever after. But when I started my own firm, business development became even more important. And so I thought about, well, where have I picked up? So, the business development piece is keep track of who is sending you business. I had somebody say to me once, this was really important. Sometimes you think people are referring you business that are not, just because they talk to you a lot. And then there's these people who are very quietly, regularly sending you business, but they don't really have time to take you to lunch. And so you don't quite absorb. So keep track. Use a customer relationship management system and keep track of clients. Keep track of people you like, because business from somebody that you like is more likely to be a good client for you, because taking good clients is one of the keys to business development. I define what my ideal client looks like in very detailed characteristics, and not just, hey, they can afford to pay me. They like actually respect and value what I have to say. So this is what, just as you should surround yourself personally with people who like you for who you are and make you feel good about yourself, that makes life so livable. At work, you spend so much time that you want to have clients and people you work with that value you value you for who you are. And so what does that look like? What does that mean? Because that's what you want to attract. And then where will you attract them? Strangely, I'm a lifelong athlete, and I will tell you that I can attribute tons of my client relationships to people I met at the gym. And the second source of my clients are typically satisfied clients. So if you have a client that you like, do really good work for them and let them know that you're open to taking other clients, because they will happily refer you if they're happy with you. So seeking clients that are ideal clients with who you have good relationships with will refer you endless clients. It is also important to develop relationships with other professionals. I overlooked that a little bit early in my career, just because I had such good fortune with developing clients. My clients came mostly from satisfied clients, but other professionals and supporting them, helping each other out, letting them know, hey, look, I am happy to not invade your space, but here's some information that might be useful to you, and developing that network. One of the best pieces of advice I got early in my career was from a client who said to me, ", 'Mary, you are super smart and super good at what you do. but you will never be everything to me. So one of the best things you can do for me is to develop a network so that whenever I need something that you can't do for me, I know that I can call you and you're going to connect me to the right person. And so having that network of connections for clients is a huge service.